We are saying goodbye to a Lakers legend and wrapping up the 1998 regular season on today's episode of the 40-Year Sim. I am Nutty Sports Gamer. We'll also be checking out plenty of highlights before the playoffs start. Mostly, I think, checking out playoff teams. That would make the most sense. But then we're going to wrap things up by checking on an old favorite, a Lakers legend who will be playing his last game at the end of this video. But let's get into Bucks Suns right now. Shaq and Penny versus the Suns. Danny Manning just made a bucket right there. We're in Milwaukee. Brad Daugherty facing off against Shaq. He's going to make a bucket. 90-89. Here's Danny Manning trying to add on to the Phoenix Suns lead. He does that right there with a basket. Danny Manning once again, this time blocked by Horace Grant. And the Bucks, we know they're a dangerous team in transition. Here is an alley-oop to Shaq to prove it. 92-91. Sam Cassell to Brad Daugherty. Passes it to Danny Manning there, who turns around. Makes the jumper. Phoenix stays ahead. 2:45 left to go. Shaq to Nick Anderson for the jumper there. He misses. Shaq gets the put back. Shaq is everywhere. Now we got Sam Cassell to Sean Elliott for three. Can't make that basket. But Danny Manning's right there for the putback. So 96-95, 140 left to go. Here's Danny Manning up against Horace Grant. He can't make that shot, but he can make that one. Still a three-point lead. Suns still with the lead. Nick Anderson to Shaq. Got the post moves. Makes the basket. It's a one-point game. Robert Pack is out there instead of Penny, but he throws it up to Shaq. 99-98. The Bucks take a one-point lead. Here's Danny Manning. The Sammy to Danny connection doesn't go quite as planned for the Suns right there, and all of a sudden the Bucks have a chance to expand on their lead. Robert Pack. Penny Hardaway, I guess he's fouled out at this point. He's going to pass it to Shaq and get out of the way. Smart. Brent Barry for three. Can't get that to fall. And we have a foul. I guess offensive foul? Or no, not offensive rebound. That's what I meant to say. I guess the Bucks won. 98-99. 30 points for Penny Hardaway. And let's keep rolling. We have no time to dilly-dally. Wizards, Spurs. Luke Longley with a putback basket there. 79-75. Tim Hardaway is holding on to the ball. He's going to pass it to Antonio Davis for the dunk right there. And the deficit has been cut to 2. The Spurs down by 2. Tim Hardaway to Dale Ellis, all-star participant in the previous video. He makes that jump shot. Here's Chuck Person missing. Antonio Davis gets the putback right there. 84-79. We got a basket there for the Wizards. Now it's a 3-point game. David Robinson brings it back to a 5-point game. Less than a minute left. Here is Reggie Lewis missing the 3. Robinson with the rebound. Spurs. Tim Hardaway with the air ball there. Woof. But Dale Ellis gets fouled there. And that will do it. The Spurs will win this game. David Robinson with the 18 points, 8 rebounds. Let's take a look at David Robinson. Be nice to get him as a thumbnail, but of course we can only have one player on the thumbnail for this episode. As we see now, Miami Heat versus Sacramento Kings. 106-102. Arvydas Sabonis misses. Barkley gets the putback for the Kings. There's a three-pointer. Or is it a long two? 106-106. KJ Johnson passing it to Reggie Williams. And now here's Arvydas Sabonis receiving the pass. Can't quite penetrate. Can't make that shot either. So tying game at 106. A lot of close games that we've jumped into thus far. And here's a dunk by Alonzo Mourning. Now we have a turnaround jumper missed by Barkley. Sabonis is right there. He also misses. Barkley gets the putback jam. Tie game at 108. Clifford Robinson passing it to Gary Payton. The glove. The glove to Clifford. That's a dunk. 110, 108. Here's a steal by a man who's the best at that category. And here he is making a layup in transition. And the Heat will go on to win this game. So the Heat go into Sacramento, take on a very good Kings team, and they win the game. 24 points for Alonzo Mourning. The Heat haven't been as good this year as they were last year, but they're trying to stay in the thick of it, trying to make a name for themselves in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, the Kings are so thus far this season. Well, we should probably check the standings before I make a determination on where they're at, because I kind of forget if they're middle of the pack in the West or better. I think actually we'll see the standings in shortly. Let's take a look at the MVP race. Shaq right now is at is first place thus far. Then you have David Robinson, Arvydas Sabonis, Jordan, and Charles Barkley. So an interesting crop of players. Arvydas Sabonis possibly winning an MVP would be very exciting. His numbers have gone up in several categories. So he is, despite being 34 years old, it feels like he is aging like a fine wine. Also, his minutes per game has gone up too. I'm sure that also has something to do with it. Meanwhile, David Robinson has been very, very solid, but Shaq is Shaq. You know, his numbers have dropped points per game, but he's still obviously been a very impactful player in terms of winning. And Michael Jordan also, as usual, with great numbers. Maybe the voters, maybe the media, maybe they're a bit tired of giving Michael Jordan the MVP, so maybe they'll go to someone else. And let's check out Rookie of the Year possibilities. Tim Duncan will likely run away with that. Michael Adams and Robert Pack are vying for the Sixth Man of the Year trophy at this point. You also got Harold Miner and Jay Edwards and Sam Perkins. It'll be interesting to see Sam Perkins win that. Dennis Rodman, as usual, always a candidate in the Defensive Player of the Year award. So for some reason he's not happy in Chicago. I have no idea why. They've won 3 championships in a row. So, but let's check out the standings. Dallas Mavericks are still in first place, 32-15. You get the Spurs right behind them, the Nuggets right behind them. Then you got the Warriors, Rockets, Kings, Sonics, and then the Suns at 8th place at 26-22. And then you got a bit of a drop off after that. The Trailblazers are 4 games back from the Suns. Meanwhile, I guess I'm right. The Kings are middle of the pack. I thought maybe they were a little bit better than that, but they are 26-18 and a 6th seed right now. If the playoffs started today, they'd be at the 6th seed. Meanwhile, the Clippers, Wolves, Jazz, Lakers are pretty much out of it. Grizzlies are very out of it. 9-40. That is, it's about what you would expect. The Bucks right now have the 1 seed in the East. Get the Knicks right behind them. Don't sleep on the Bulls. They're only 3.5 games back, and there's plenty of time for them to make a move towards getting a 1 seed. You have the Pacers right there behind them. Wizards, not too far off either. 5 games back from the 1 seed, so are the Nets. Then you have a little bit of a drop off, the Heat and the Orlando Magic. Hornets, Cavaliers are all trying to get that 8 seed. They're all neck and neck. And after that, there's a bit of a drop off there. So let's continue to watch more games. Knicks, Sonics. I don't believe we've seen much Knicks games, despite them being as good as they are. Abdul Rauf making that shot there. We are in Seattle, where everyone dresses in all black. I don't know why. It's just weird. Sean Kemp makes that basket for the Sonics, and it's 93-88. Maybe the crowd knows that eventually they're going to be moving to OKC, and so they're mourning for something that's about to come in. But guys, that's like 9 years from now. That's like several seasons from now, so don't worry about that. Sonics win this game as I ramble about some nonsense. 98-90 was the final score there. I didn't realize that'd be such a quick highlight package. But now we're watching Seattle versus San Antonio. There's a basket there by Tim Hardaway, and the Spurs tie the game up at 91. Sean Kemp making that basket for Seattle, and the Sonics take a 2-point lead. Here's a missed shot by Abdul Rauf, I believe. And now we have the Spurs. Dale Ellis making the basket there. Take a look at the replay. He gets fouled, making that layup. And now it's 94-94 with just over 2 minutes left to go. Sean Kemp is going to back his way toward the basket. Missed the first shot, make the second one. It's 96-94. Here's Tim Hardaway with missed basket there. David Robinson gets the putback, draws the foul. And now a 1-point lead belonged to the Spurs, but Sean Kemp fires right back with the jumper there. David Robinson answers that jumper with a jumper of his own. Here's Sean Kemp. It's the battle of the big men. Kemp with the dunk. Tim Hardaway gets blocked by Kemp. Now here come the Sonics. They are on their way. And here's a basket by Bruce Bowen. Weird seeing him play against the Spurs, but that is the universe that we're in. Now here's David Robinson up against Rick Smits. Makes the shot over the Duncan Dutchman. 102-101, less than 40 seconds left to go. And here's an alley-oop. Oh, no, botched alley-oop. Scratch that. That was a botched alley-oop. And here come the Spurs. Timmy Hardaway. Eventually, David Robinson gets the ball. He misses the shot. And here's an intentional foul on Sean Kemp. 107-101. If I cut to the end, that means it was a free throw battle, and there's no reason to watch the rest of that. 19 points for Sean Kemp, 15 rebounds, hell of a performance, and the Sonics win. Here are the Kings versus the Warriors. Gotta love this court. We've seen it a few times, but it just makes me smile seeing it just pop up as Arvidas Sabonis hit that first shot. 116-115. Here's a basket by Allen Houston. Warriors up by 3. Both teams are rather good. Charles Barkley now is going to miss that shot. Terry Catledge with the rebound. And Catledge is running the floor. Let's see if he can find the right pass. He does to Juwan Howard, who makes that dunk right there. 120-115. Can the Kings get back into this one? Reggie Williams seems to think so. He makes a dunk right there after a Charles Barkley dish. Now here's Jason Kidd with an alley-oop to Isaiah Ryder. 122-117. How fast can I talk? What am I, an auctioneer? What's going on here? Terry Catledge with the steal, and the Warriors are on the run, on the loose. Can they capitalize on the turnover? Well, they get intentionally fouled, so I guess they do. 126-117. I could never be an auctioneer, as I just proved right there. But let's keep watching the Warriors. Let's go back in that arena. We got to love the arena. Meanwhile, Shaq is dunking the shit out of the ball in the arena. 89-88 is the score. 4:10 left to go. There's a steal. A steal by was that Nick Anderson over there doing his thing. Now we got Horace Grant with the layup right there. 90-89. Penny Hardaway with the jumper right there. He's so good. Doug Christie, he's pretty good too. I think that's the first time I've ever said that sentence. I mean, he's a good player, but I don't think I've ever said Doug Christie is pretty good too. Just ever in my life. But he is, so, it's not wrong. Although, what was that? I'll blame that on Jason Kidd. That was a bad pass. No, it wasn't Christie's fault. Meanwhile, Shaq with the dunk right there, the jam, the slam, whatever you want to call it. 94-91. Here is Allen Houston with the mid-ranger. That is money, cha-ching. Penny Hardaway, turnaround jumper. That's also good, cha-ching, cha-ching. 2 minutes left. How about Isaiah Ryder? Cha-ching. All right, I'll stop. 1:47 left to go. Shaq double-teamed. Does it matter? No, because he makes that basket. 98-95. I don't have to sound like a jackass while I commentate. Jason Kidd makes that basket there. But it's kind of fun sounding like a jackass. Shaq with the layup. Nope. I fucked up. Penny Hardaway, 47 seconds left to go. 3-point lead for the Bucks. Here's an alley-oop to Shaq. Shaq-a-duck-a-doo. 41 points for Shaq right there. 11 rebounds. He is playing like an MVP, I gotta say. And I'm sure you must agree with me. I mean, he is playing lights out. I think he won the MVP in 1996. Could you imagine if he won it again? Could you imagine? In real life, he only won it once, which is crazy to me, but that's what happened, Let's take another look at the playoff picture. Get the Bucks, the 1 seed. The Bulls have caught up. The Bulls are now in the 2 spot with the Knicks. They're tied. Got the Wizards, Nets, Pacers, Heat, Cavaliers have won 4 in a row. The Magic have lost 4 in a row. Meanwhile, you got the 76ers, the Hornets. Hornets kind of fading. Jesus. The Hornets have lost 8 of their last 10 games. Meanwhile, the Hawks are doing all right, 23 and 33. Compared to where they were, they're doing okay. Pistons, Celtics, Raptors are at the bottom. But the story here is the Hornets have faded again. They've been doing this the last several seasons, just absolutely fading after the All-Star break. Meanwhile, the West, I don't know if I'll have time to rattle off the teams. Mavericks, Nuggets, Kings, Spurs, Sonics, Warriors, Rockets, Suns are in the top 8. The Sonics have won 4 in a row. They are rising. They are rising in the West. Everything else is pretty much the same. Let's move on to more games. And speaking of the Sonics, they're facing the Rockets. We see a basket there by Hakeem. And now we got Abdul Rauf missing the jumper. Sean Kemp with the putback. He's a hell of a teammate there, getting those putbacks after his teammates miss. Meanwhile, Abdul Rauf doesn't miss that shot. He makes a three-pointer. 89-86. Here's an alley-oop to Sean Kemp. I hope he never gets old in this game. He is so fun to watch. Here's another basket for him. I mean, at this point in real life, he started to lose his way. As we see Hakeem make a basket there. And, he's a guy who, is he in the Hall of Fame? I mean, if you look at what he did during his prime as he makes a basket there, you would think, when I was a kid, I thought this guy was a surefire Hall of Famer, right? Going to get his jersey retired, going to be considered one of the greatest power forwards, but then he absolutely fell off a cliff before he even turned 30 years old, as we see a three-pointer right there for the Rockets. 2:18. Sean Kemp again, another alley-oop. He is just a hell of a player to watch. I mean, if he stayed in shape his entire career, if he took his career seriously, who knows? He makes a turnaround jumper there, and the Sonics go on to win this game, 103-97. I know he got traded to the Cavaliers, I think in 1998 in real life, but I hope he stays a Sonic. I hope he manages to play his entire career here. That'd be really fun, especially since the Sonics don't have Gary Payton. So it'd be nice if they had one lifer. Bucks are still in first place. We're checking back on the standings yet again. You get the Bulls, who've pulled ahead a little bit. The Cavaliers have won 14 in a row, guys. Whoa. Pacers and Heat are now in the 7 and 8 spots, and it feels like, wow, the Magic are 6 games behind. The Wizards and Nets are at the 4 and 5 as of this moment, but the Magic have faded. They were the 8. For a brief period, they were possibly in the playoffs. Sixers as well looked like a possible candidate. Hornets, they've won 3 in a row, but they're 29 and 37. They seem out of it as well. The Hawks and Pistons are doing respectable considering where they were at the beginning of the season. Then you have the Mavericks, the Sonics, all of a sudden at the 2 spot. That's crazy. You got the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Warriors, top 5. Rockets right there with the Warriors, 37 and 27. Kings. So Warriors, Rockets, and Kings are neck and neck. Then you get the bit of a drop off before you have the Suns at 34 and 33 with the 8 seed. Then you have the Blazers, Clippers, Wolves, Jazz, Lakers. The Wolves, man, around January 1st, it looked like a team that might be able to make the playoffs, and they've just totally faded. Meanwhile, Penny Hardaway is starting to rise as a possible MVP candidate, possible front runner. So that's interesting how that's evolving. Meanwhile, we are checking out the Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns, and there's a basket there by LaFonso Ellis. 83-82. Here's a basket for the Suns, Brad Doherty. So the Suns regained the lead. Here is a missed shot by Chris Morris, I think. And Mutombo with the putback. First-time All-Star Mutombo. Mookie Blaylock misses. Mutombo with the putback right there. 87-86. Christian Laettner is going to make a basket for Denver. Now we have Smart to Elliott to Danny Manning. Trying to beat his defender. Succeeds. It's 89-88. Mookie Blaylock gets the screen from Dikembe, and then Dikembe gets the putback dunk. 91-88. Mookie skates by his defender and makes that layup. Denver Nuggets go on to win this game 96-88, so they're looking pretty good as we get closer to the playoffs. Now we have Rockets Mavericks. Hakeem with the basket there for Houston. Here he is back at it again, making another basket over Sean Bradley. 101-96, 2:42 left to go. Grant Hill is going to pull up for a jumper, sink it, and now it's a 3-point game. We got B.J. Armstrong receiving a pass there. Then tries to penetrate, makes the layup. 5-point game. Here's B.J. again, this time passing it to Hakeem Olajuwon, who once again is going to bully Sean Bradley and make that basket. Bradley, 7'6", not playing like it. Meanwhile, he does make a layup right there. He's rather nimble for 7'6". Nice to see. Grant Hill is going to pass it to Bradley again. This time Bradley misses, but he gets his own putback. He is pretty damn tall. Now we got Roy Marble to Tyrone Hill to B.J. Armstrong, who misses that shot. Joe Dumars gets the rebound. 21.3 seconds left. The Mavericks have a chance to tie this game. And it's a steal. Sean Bradley. Dude. 111-104 is the final score. Anticlimactic ending. Oh, well. I don't know why I thought I should do all. I don't know. Here's a Hakeem. Here's a screenshot, potentially thumbnail, but it's not going to be him because we're going to highlight Magic Johnson at the end of this video. And speaking of Magic Johnson, we're there. We are there, guys. Chicago versus Los Angeles is 90-75. Not a close game, but the importance of this game cannot be understated because, as we see, Michael Jordan with that steal from Kobe Bryant, by the way, makes the basket there in transition. The Bulls are rolling over the Lakers, who had a very bad season. You see Chicago, Michael versus Tony Kukoc. He misses a shot. Pippen gets the putback, as I stutter for God knows why. And then Michael Jackson makes the. Oh my God, Michael Jordan. Wow. Let me reset. Let me just reset. Michael Jordan makes that dunk. Okay. Wait, is that no? Wait, what's going on here? Was that not the game? I thought that was the game. The Bulls win. And okay, yeah, this was the game. Right? Am I missing something? I'm pretty sure that was the final game for Magic Johnson, but we hardly saw him. I thought there was more to it than that. But here's a nice shot of Kobe and Michael Jordan. You know, that's a hell of a shot. That's actually really cool. That is really cool. Man. I actually have some pretty cool shots in this video. It's making me question my game plan. I think we must. Okay, yeah, that wasn't the game. Okay, phew. I think we're gonna have a more fun game to show you, a Lakers game. But yes, Magic Johnson doesn't think he can go through the physical grind of another season. It's time. He's 38 years old. He managed to last way longer in this sim than he did in real life. Of course, we know why he retired early in real life. That wasn't something that stopped him in this sim. He still has HIV, but didn't stop him. That's messed up. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Can't really. We don't go into the players' personal lives on this sim. You know, we stick to basketball. But he could be battling HIV. You know, maybe he decided to just, you know, grin and bear it and play with it. I don't know. Is that funny? I don't even know. I feel like he's had it for a long time. That maybe we can be kind of light about it. But obviously, it was a very serious thing at the time. But the point, though, is that it's really cool to see how his career would have played out if he had stuck around for many more seasons. He managed to make the Lakers go to several more playoff trips. Of course, he won a championship in '91. I would say that his real-life impact was probably a bit more because he won 5 championships with the Lakers in real life, and in this sim, he only won 4. But still, he managed to win a championship with that Kareem, and managed to play with Kobe Bryant. That's pretty damn cool. So, yeah, I mean, and we'll get into it later, but total career points, total career assists. I mean, he is like, if not number 1 or number 2 or number 3, he's like top 5 in a lot of those categories, which we'll take a look at later. But let me finally talk about this game a little bit because they're playing the Bucks, by the way. as we see Kobe Bryant at the free throw line. And yeah, I mean, this is like a passing of the torch kind of game, you know, because Magic Johnson's retiring. He got to play with Kobe for 2 seasons, but now he's passing the torch to Kobe to be the next face of the Lakers. Like, that's a kind of a fun thing to think about that could have happened if it wasn't for what happened to him. You know, if he didn't come down with the HIV virus, maybe this would have happened in real life. Who knows? But here's a three-pointer there for the Bucks. It's 55-43. The Lakers. Let's see if they can make it somewhat of a game. As we see, is that AC Green? No, that's yeah. Actually, not sure if that's AC Green or not. I haven't been following the Lakers too much this season, but that's okay. Kobe Bryant makes the long two there. Now we're jumping into the fourth quarter. Let's see if the Lakers can make a comeback here. That would be fun. 85-77 with just over 8 minutes left to go. Kobe Bryant, like I said, he's the face of the franchise moving forward. He's going to get blocked there by Nick Anderson. And the Bucks are going the other way. Maybe a comeback is not going to happen. Shaq makes the alley-oop right there, 87-77. Magic Johnson gets blocked by Shaq. And the Bucks, yet again, have possession of the ball. We got Penny Hardaway handling the ball. Brent Barry now to Nick. To Shaq, double team does sort of matter, but now it doesn't because he makes the putback basket. 89-77 is the score now. Magic Johnson, can he help his team mount a comeback for one last time? Robert Horry makes the dunk there. 89-79. Shaq, double teamed again. Not going to matter yet again. 91-79. Kobe Bryant at the wing. Gets past Nick Anderson for the dunk right there. He's showing that he's starting to come along. Starting to come along, the young buck, who's a Laker. Tony Kukoc makes that three-pointer, by the way. 91-84. All of a sudden, 7-point game. Hold up. Nick Anderson. Damn. Just when you thought the Lakers had life. But let's see, because Kobe has the ball again, and it feels like Magic is willing to take a back seat as Kobe does his thing there. 94-86. And here's Kobe, top of the key, penetrating, making a layup. And I don't think he made the free throw, but it's 94-88 now, and Magic Johnson does make the jumper there. So now it's a 4-point game with 2.5 left to go. What? Penny Hardaway makes that floater. So that's back to a 6-point game. AC Green, that is AC Green, number 54. Okay. Mental note. Here's Kobe Bryant for 3. That's good. 96-93. 2 minutes left to go. This game is going to come down to the wire. Yes, sir. Penny Hardaway misses that shot. Shaq. Come on, Shaq. Don't, give the Lakers a chance. And here is a pass to Penny Hardaway. That could have been foolish, but turned out okay. And I guess the Lakers, listen, that was a spirited comeback. They had a chance. They at least had a chance, right? They at least had a chance. Even though earlier, just a few seconds ago, I said to give them a chance. They had a sliver of hope in this game. It wasn't a complete blowout. If you remember back a couple of seasons ago, Larry Bird's final game was an absolute shit show for the Celtics. This one was a much more respectable showing for the Lakers. And there is Magic Johnson for the final time as we saw Derek Fisher getting ready. Is Derek Fisher the future point guard for the Lakers? Maybe. Maybe he's going to be the one to follow in Magic's footsteps. As you see Derek Fisher walking onto the court as Magic gets off the court. Little cinematic moment in 40-year sim. As soon as I saw that was a possibility, I had to capture that. That's pretty damn awesome, if I may say so myself. Where is my Emmy? Where's my streaming award? Where's my YouTube award? I don't even know what award I could ever be given for something stupid like this. There's a nice shot of Magic Johnson, and just wanted to let you guys know that Kevin McHale has been the head coach of the Lakers this entire time for this season. Very odd. He only has a 1-year deal though, and the team has been terrible, so I don't think he's going to stick around as Lakers coach. I don't know why they would ever even hire him, but it's kind of funny that Kevin McHale is on the bench for Magic Johnson's last game. Magic Johnson had 14 points in his final game. 32 points for Penny Hardaway. 22 and 13 for Shaq. Penny is a baller, absolute baller. But Shaq would go on to win MVP. 22 and a half points, almost 12 rebounds, 2 assists per game, 1 steal, 2 blocks per game. I mean, he's been absolutely lights out, even shooting above 50% from free throw line. So having a hell of a season. And this would be his. If I maybe I look at it. Do I look at it? I think this would be his second MVP. 1 in 96 and 1 in 98. So he is racking up the accolades. Let's check out Rookie of the Year Tim Duncan. No surprise there. He had a hell of a season with the Hawks. Robert Pack would go on to win Sixth Man of the Year. Dennis Rodman, once again, Defensive Player of the Year. Steve Nash, Most Improved Player, which, I mean, it was his second year, and he got to start. So I feel like there had to be somebody a little bit more deserving, but we'll just take it and move on. Coach of the Year, Executive of the Year, yada yada yada. So those awards. Check out the All NBA teams: MJ, Penny, KG, Barkley, and O'Neal. Is your first team. Reggie Miller, Jason Kidd, Chris Webber, Sean Kemp, and Arvydas Sabonis on the second team. Nice to see Chris Webber get represented there. We jumped into a few Clippers games, didn't we? But I feel like we didn't really see Webber go off. You know, like when we jump into Sonics games, Sean Kemp looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to see Chris Webber there, despite really not seeing him. Reggie Lewis, Gary Payton, Scottie Pippen, Carmelo, yada yada yada. Michael Jordan, Gary Payton, Kevin Garnett, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman on the all defensive first team. Ron Harper, Jason Kidd, Derek McKee, what? Derek McKee, Sean Kemp, Shaq on the all defensive second team. Okay. I don't like reading fast. Not a fan of that. Let's see. You can check out the all rookies: Tim Duncan, Tracy McGrady, Austin Crozier, Keith Van Horn, somebody else, Jermaine O'Neal, Shannon Anderson on the all rookie second team, and that's it. That is it. Damn, that kind of sucks. No one else. I thought maybe I could add a player, but I guess there's only 7 rookies worth noting on those teams. That's kind of sad to know. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan won the scoring title this season. No surprise there. He usually wins it. Going to be interesting. Whenever he finally retires, it's going to be interesting to see who takes his place, especially with Allen Iverson having to share the ball with Tim Duncan. He might not be the prolific scorer that he was in real life because of the team that he's on, but definitely we have a couple of guys who could fill in Michael Jordan's shoes when it comes to being the scoring leader. You know, when it comes to averaging 28 points per game. You know, but Arvydas Sabonis wins the rebounding title, so that's nice. And then assists, we got John Stockton with 11 per game. Steve Nash right behind him though, 9.7. So, meanwhile, where's Magic Johnson? Is he in there? Is he in this category? Oh, he was, but he wasn't averaging very many assists. That's interesting. David Robinson, over 2 blocks per game, 2.5 blocks per game. All right, standings. The Nuggets get the 1 seed. How about that? 51 and 31. Sonics, Mavericks, Spurs are your top 4 seed, and all of them at around 50 wins. It's interesting to see that. Kings, Warriors, Rockets, and Suns round out the top 8 of the playoffs. And you had the Trailblazers actually with a 5-game winning streak to end the season, 39 and 43. They ended up only being a game behind the Suns. So that's very interesting that turned out that way. But ultimately the Suns made yet another playoff appearance. The Rockets being 44 and 38 is surprising. They were the class of the West for a long time. And now it finally feels like age has caught up to that team, right? So meanwhile, the Warriors are looking pretty solid with Jason Kidd. The Spurs aren't wowing us, but they've had a pretty solid season. The Kings have faded a tiny bit too, but not too much. The Mavericks finally have had a 50-win season. It's been a while since that happened. Clippers, Wolves went over 30 games. The Jazz ended up 27 and 55. The Lakers really bad, 24 and 58. And the Grizzlies 17 and 65, and that's probably the worst record in the league. We'll check when we check out the East. We'll find out for sure if that's the case. But yeah, Lakers being 24 and 58. That's definitely easily their worst record of the sim so far. The Bucks end up with the 1 seed in the East. The Bulls at the 2 seed. Then you have the Knicks, the Wizards, the Nets, and the Cavaliers. The Nets with 50 wins with Steve Nash as their point guard. Very interesting to see that. The Cavaliers had a hell of a finish to their season too. They were right around the 8th seed a couple of weeks ago, and now they're 50 and 32. Then you have the Pacers and the Heat. The Heat with 48 wins. 48 wins ends up being the 8th seed for the East. That's pretty unusual for the Eastern Conference. That's something that we would see in real life happen to the Western Conference several times in the 2000s and the early 2010s. So interesting to see that happen with the East. But the East, there's a lot of talent in the Eastern Conference in this sim, so it's kind of understandable. 76ers and the Magic both were 38 and 44. The Hawks 36 and 46. That's pretty solid. Considering where they were last year and the year before, Tim Duncan and Allen Iverson, feels like they're building something there. Hornets 34 and 48. That feels disappointing. They've had a disappointing end to the season yet again. The Pistons 32 and 50. And then you have the Celtics 21 and 61 and the Raptors 19 and 63. Here is the playoff bracket. You got the Nuggets versus the Suns. You got the Spurs versus the Kings. Mavericks versus the Warriors. Sonics versus the Rockets. And then in the East, you got Bucks Heat, which is a pretty fun matchup for round 1. You got Wizards Nets. You got Knicks Cavaliers. And you got Bulls Pacers. So I see a path for the Bulls to make it back to the finals for sure. But the Bucks, it feels like this is their best chance. If the Bucks were ever going to make the finals, it's this year. So meanwhile, the West, who knows, right? The Nuggets being the 1 seed, the Sonics the 2 seed, and you have the Spurs and the Kings and the Mavericks in the middle. It really is anyone's guess as to who's going to win the West this season. But a lot of fun matchups. Should be a hell of a fun playoffs. And yet again, time to say goodbye to Magic Johnson. I thought we went over his career totals, but I guess I do that in a later video. Maybe I do that after the finals. But goodbye, Magic. Thank you for all your great performances in the sim. He was the thumbnail of the second episode of the sim. And we're at what? Episode 100 and what? 53? 54? I don't even know anymore. But so we spent a lot of time with Magic Johnson, and now it's time to say goodbye. And, well, I guess all I can say is goodbye. Goodbye, Magic Johnson. Thank you very much for your services. And thank you very much, everybody who's watching, who has been watching my stuff. The 40-year sim. We got the playoffs coming. We got the finals. We got the 98 draft. The 99 season. Yeah. Going to be pretty damn awesome. Thank you very much for subscribing if you have already. If you haven't yet, subscribe. And once again, I'm rambling, so I'm going to stop. But thanks, everybody.